Hi, you're right. This is our second lesson for equations. In this video, we're going to look at pronumerals on both sides. So last lesson, we reviewed what an equation is, how to do one-step equations and two-step equations, and how to substitute solutions into equations. Now, the following equations all have more than two steps, and in particular, they have pronumerals on both sides. So let's have a look at them. We've got 2x take away 1 is equal to x plus 3. And I've got x plus 1 all over 2 is equal to 2x take away 6. And finally, I've got 4 outside of x minus 1 in brackets is equal to 3 outside of x plus 5 in brackets. We're going to have a look at these sorts of questions. If we want to solve an equation with pronumerals on both sides, we need to collect the pronumerals together. So if we've got something like this, 2x take away 1 is equal to x plus 3, I need to join these pronumerals together. It's no good saying that x is equal to something involving x. We want x is equal to a number. So my very first step here is going to be to move this x over the other side to be with this one. Now this is a positive x, so it's going to come across as a negative x. So it's the same rules. Now, don't forget like terms. It's going to join with the other x. So 2x take away x is x. So let's rewrite this. X take away 1 is equal to 3. And in this case, we've gone from pronumerals on both sides back to a one-step equation. This is a nice, easy one to solve. We can take this negative 1 over the other side as a positive one, or we can solve it by looking at it. Either way, x is equal to 4. Let's try another one. 3x take away 2 is equal to negative x plus 5. So let's move that negative x. The opposite is going to be positive x or plus x. All right, 3x plus x is 4x. Take away 2 is equal to 5. Can you see how I got that? So we've gone from pronumerals on both sides to a two-step equation. Okay, let's move this negative 2 because it's most by itself. It's going to go over the other side as a plus 2. And then let's rewrite it. 4x is equal to 7. It's not going to be a whole number, but that's okay. This is a times by 4. It's going over as a divide, but I'm going to use fraction notation. So I'm going to put it underneath here, and that's actually my answer. X is equal to 7 on 4. Okay, what about this one? X take away 1 is equal to 4x plus 2. I could move this 4x over. It's going to become negative 4x, and I'm going to get a negative value in front of the x. That's okay. But if you want to make life a little bit easier, what you can do is always move the least amount of x. So let's move this one instead, and it's going to avoid negatives. This is a positive 1x, so when I take it over, it's going to become minus x. Okay, let's rewrite this. Negative 1 is equal to, what's this? 4x take away x is 3x plus 2. Now I'm going to do a sneaky trick. I'm going to swap sides. I'm going to bring the 3x plus 2 over to the left-hand side and the negative 1 over to the right-hand side. Now let's have a think about this. Remember when we learned equations in Year 7, we talked a lot about seesaws. If I've got two people on a seesaw that are the same weight, what happens if they swap sides? Absolutely nothing. Okay? Doesn't matter if one's on the left or one's on the right, it's still going to be equal. So anytime you like, we can take up the whole right-hand side and put it on the left, and all of the left-hand side and put it on the right. And that brings our x over the place we want it to be. All right, we have a two-step equation. Let's move this positive 2. It's going over as a minus 2. Well, we've got to be careful here. We've got negative 1 take away 2. That's negative 3. So I've got 3x equals negative 3. Remember, you can use your calculator if you want to. And then finally, we're going to divide both sides by 3. So I'm going to take this one over. I know it's not going to be a fraction, so I'll use this divide sign. And what's our answer going to be? What's negative 3 divided by 3? Negative 1. There it is. Let's solve this equation for y. 3y take away 2 is equal to 5y plus 1. Now the least amount of y is the 3y. This is plus 3y, so it's going to come over as minus 3y. So let's do this step first. Minus 3y. Okay, let's rewrite it. Negative 2 is equal to, what's this? 5y take away 3y is 2y plus 1. Now let's switch sides. Okay, we're back to a two-step equation. Which is most by itself? This plus 1 is. So it's coming over as minus 1. Be careful here. Minus 2, take away another 1 is minus 3. So 2y is equal to minus 3. And then finally divide both sides by 2. I'm going to use this division sign here. Y is equal to negative 3 on 2, and that's our answer. Here's one more. Solve 2x take away 3 is equal to 4 take away 5x. Okay, so let's write down the question to begin with. What's the least amount of x there? Is it the 2x or the negative 5x? The lowest amount is the negative 5x. That's the one we want to move. So when it comes over, it's going to become plus 5x. All right, let's rewrite this. 2x plus 5x is 7x. Take away 3 is equal to 4. We're back to a two-step equation. We'll move this minus 3. It's most by itself. It comes over as a plus 3. And rewriting it, we get 7x is equal to 7. Can you solve that by looking at it? 7 times what makes 7? X is equal to 1. All right, I'm going to show you a trick here. This is up to you whether you do it, but you can do two steps in one go. I can move this minus 5x over and at the same time move the minus 3 over. Okay, if this is too much for you, just ignore me. Let's bring this over here as a plus 5x. And let's move this over at the same time as a plus 3. Okay, let's see if we can rewrite this. I've got 7x equals 7. Bang, one go. And there's my answer. Now, just like we learned in the last video, we can use substitution to check our solution to an equation. Is x equals minus 2 the solution to 4x plus 5 equals x minus 1? Now, we could just solve that equation and figure out whether x equals minus 2 is the solution, but a better way is just to substitute it in. Now, we could just substitute it in here and in here, like this. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 2 take away 1 is negative 3. And then negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3. And so because the left-hand side and the right-hand side are equal, then x equals minus 2 is the correct solution. But this is rather on the nose, this method. Okay, getting an answer that says minus 3 is equal to minus 3 is really stupid. Of course minus 3 is equal to minus 3. And it's even worse if it's not the solution. You end up, say, with minus 4 equals minus 3, which is just plain dumb. So I'm going to show you a better way to do it. So what we should do is start with the left-hand side and substitute in negative 2, and it's equal to negative 3. And then we should do the right-hand side and substitute it in, and it's equal to negative 3. Now, since our left-hand side and our right-hand side are equal, then x equals minus 2 is the correct solution. Okay, that's it for this lesson. In our next lesson, we're going to look at harder equations involving fractions and brackets.